Alright, game 3 of the 3-day tournament that I played in. Third opponent was Chaos, so a civil war. The scenario was meeting engagement. He won the role to choose a side, so that's the side he picked. And only the War Shrine started in reserve, which he brought on first turn. His list was the War Shrine of Tzeentch. He had 2 units of 5 Marauders with throwing axes marked Nurgle. 2 units of 5 Knights. I believe they were both marked Nurgle as well. Unit of 24 Khorne Warriors with halberds and shields. And then another unit of was 22 Tzeentch Warriors with shields. In there he had his Battle Standard Bearer and his Sorcerer Lord using Shadow. The other unit of warriors, he had a level 1 caster of Death, which had the Spirit Leech spell. This was his first turn. He moved up, used his throwing axes from the bottom right Marauders to kill a dog. And then on my turn 1. Alright, Chaos turn 1. My Chariot and my Ogre started off in reserve. Sorry about the bad picture. It was kind of cramped where I was in this one. So I set up a couple traps with my dogs on his warrior units. Knowing that his big unit of warriors on my left was frenzied, I could hold and he'd have to overrun. So that's why my other warriors are deployed way back. So hopefully I can flank charge him and get rid of him. And on the right, I set up my ogres for a nice flank charge, and I charged the Shaggoth at his fast cav, but they chose to flee. Ran through his knights, and his knights failed 2 leadership, 8 panic tests, and they fled as well. He rolled a lot of failed leadership tests this game. Magic was pretty uneventful. I think everything got dispelled. And on to turn 2. Alright, on his turn, he charged both units of dogs with his warriors, but he also charged the Marauder Horsemen on the left and the Chaos Knights on the left into the dogs. Of course, the Marauder Horsemen failed because the Knights took their place. He was able to easily destroy the dogs, and he overran 12 inches with his Chaos Knights to make it into base contact with my warriors. I fled on the right, which was a bad decision on my part, enabling him to get a flank charge on my Sorcerer Lord's unit. He does have the Stubborn Crown, so I figured I could hold and hopefully get the ogres in to save the day. The forest was a mysterious forest. When he ran through it, found out it was a venom thicket, which will prove very, very important later in the game. He lost 1 to combat. I lost 1, so he won the combat, but I hung around. Was not able to turn to face due to a bad roll on my part. And his magic was another. He tried to get Mind Razor off on the warriors in hand to hand with my unit, but I dispel scrolled it. Okay, on to my turn 2. Alright, my Chaos turn 2. I started out with declaring a charge on his Marauders that were blocking my ogres from charging in. He failed the terror check and fled. The Shoggoth only went 4 inches, so he did not block the charge of my ogres, which they declared on his warriors. Chariot also declared a charge on the warriors, made it. And my Warhounds rallied. In combat, his Knights killed like 3 of my warriors, but I was steadfast. Failed the steadfast check, and he ran him down into the river. The river ended up being a river of light. He got the spell Net of Amok cast on him. The ogres did a lot of damage, including the Chariot. He had the Stubborn Crown on his Sorcerer Lord, but failed 2 checks on his 8 to stay in combat. And the ogres made the roll to run him down, and my warriors tested to hold so they could make sure that they were ready to receive the his other big unit of Khorne warriors. And that was it for my turn 2. Alright, his Chaos turn 3. His Khorne warriors charged my warriors. All of his stuff rallied. The knights tried to move out of the river, but failed their strength test and actually took 2 casualties due to the die 6 strength 4 hits. When his warriors charged my warriors, I took 2 casualties, he took 4, and then failed his steadfast check, but did outrun me by a good distance on his fleet. The Marauder horse just keep running around trying to throw stuff at their axes. There you go. My Chaos, turn 3. I charge his War Shrine with the Ogres, taking 4 wounds from the Dangerous Terrain test in the forest due to the Venom Thicket. My warriors charge his warriors, which he flees far enough I can't catch him. And then the Shaggoth and the Chariot go to protect my backside from all the knights and fast cav, or try to anyways. I did cast Comet over on the left. That's the little yellow die on the left to mark where the comet is. And other than that, that was a pretty eventful turn. So this picture is actually the end of turn 4. On his turn, his warriors rallied, and then he cast Spirit Leech from his level 1 wizard at my level 4 wizard with 6 dice, so it irresistible. And he rolled a 6, I rolled a 1, and my regens were not enough to save my Sorcerer Lord, so he died then. And the miscast stripped his magic level, so there was no more magic the rest of the game, even though the comet was thinking about coming down. But it did not come down in his turn, and it did not come down in my turn. The Shaggoth charged on my turn his Chaos Knights. The Shaggoth took a wound, didn't cause any, and held around for a turn. His Knights got charged by my Chariot, but failed to cause any damage. Broken was run down on my turn. And his War Shrine rallied, but I wasn't able to get the Ogres in combat yet. His warriors on the left are dead, and mine beat them and ran them off the board. And so my unit of warriors is sitting off the board edge right now at the end of turn 4. Alright, the rest of the game isn't very interesting, so I'll just go over it quickly. The War Shrine went to go tangle with my warriors. It charged it easily and destroyed it in hand-to-hand. The Shaggoth finally got beat by his Chaos Knights and fled, but got away the first turn. On the next turn, he got ran down. And then the Ogres proceeded to charge. He'd flee. I'd redirect. He'd flee, keeping them out of combat again. They lost a few more to Dangerous Terrain tests and a few more to axes. But they were still left at the end of the game. So, at the end of the game, all that was left was his few knights, 1 unit of 3, 1 unit of 2. Oh, the comet, when it came down, it was only a 2-inch roll, so it only went out 5 inches, so it didn't get to do anything. So he had, 2 units of knights, his 2 units of fast cav, versus my unit of ogres and my unit of warriors with my battle standard bearer. So it was a really bloody game, but my Chaos were the easy victors, and my Chaos came in second in the overall standing in the tournament. So not a bad showing for the Chaos. Thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll have more reports soon.